Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
It is Tuesday morning, a fat Tuesday here in Detroit, and live right on Woodward Avenue. It is the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. This is the Morning Woodward Show. Hopefully, you guys are making it through the snow all right. Hopefully, everybody's still got power. Everybody's doing okay. I mean, there was about 3 feet of snow when I got out of the house today. And first, let's do the intros. My name is Stick. To my right.
Good morning, it's Corey.
And to my left.
Hey, it's Joey. In case you forgot what I look like, that's what I look like.
You wearing your Joey mask?
Yeah, I just want you to recognize me today.
I like that, man.
I got to.
It's creepy as hell.
Listen,
it's really creepy.
I know I'm not contagious anymore, but you guys were tripping yesterday, so I feel like I got to wear my mask now. And it's just out of respect. I got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, out of respect, like, you were mad at the person who came in the office on Friday and
Right.
was like, I'm not feeling well. And you're like, get the hell out of here. And then what did you do on Monday? I'm not feeling well. So we said, get the hell out of here.
I know I chose to leave on yesterday.
Okay, well, whatever decision, whoever made that decision, you shouldn't be here if you're sick.
So do you hear me in this mask or no? I think this mask is too thick. You can't really hear me.
I think you sound beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I sound good, Art?
Yeah, we can hear you. You look like a dingus.
It's weird when Joey's like staring at you with that mask because it's just like this weird
It just
smile.
makes me
just like-
uncomfortable.
yeah, that's a very uncomfortable. Where did you get that mask?
My boys at the Ugly Christmas Sweater, those guys, they got a company called Mask Michigan, and they made this for me.
Okay.
Honestly, the best gift I've ever received in my life.
It is so creepy.
Take the mask off!
I like it.
It is very creepy. All right, well, we got to shout out everybody that's checking us out on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on, what did I miss? Facebook, YouTube, oh, and Twitter. Can't forget about Twitter.
Oh.
And soon to be the app, which is right back there on the board. Fish, we're good on Facebook Live, right? Or on Instagram Live right now. Fish giving me the thumbs up. So hi, everybody on Instagram Live. Thank you for sharing this morning. Thank you for following. Thank you for being a part of the morning show. And let's get into it, man. It is now time for the world famous
Good
Joey's
morning,
News.
everyone!
Extra, read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's News.
Let's go!
There was a lot of sports talk yesterday, and the first one that we got to start off is
Take that mask off.
is we got to remember our former NFL wide receiver Vincent Jackson found dead at 38 in a Florida hotel room. And I was doing some investigation on this whole story, and he checked into the hotel on January 11th, so he's been there for over a month, and he's been staying in that room ever since. Well, his family reported him missing on Wednesday of last week, and then it was all canceled because they confirmed that he was fine. So it was just a couple days, and I don't know the cause of death yet. We're obviously going to be hearing more as they get more information on this, but nonetheless, you know, we're remembering him, and it sucks to lose Vincent Jackson. That's such a good dude.
Yeah, it was a crazy story. Just
It was.
sad. It was very sad.
It was. And then we go over to the NBA. There was a ton of news dropping, and it kind of all was around Detroit because one was a current player, one was a former player, starting with Blake Griffin and the Detroit Pistons agreeing that he will be out of the lineup until they work through a resolution on his playing future. This video that you're seeing right now is his last dunk as a Piston on frickin' December 6, 2019.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little more. I got some interesting stats on Blake. Really interesting stats.
I'm not joking. I think I've dunked before since his last dunk.
I can't dunk, so I'm not
8
gonna
foot
say
rim,
anything.
but I'm pretty sure I did it.
All right, good.
Or at airtime, one of those. Andre Drummond of the Cavaliers no longer playing as they work to trade him before the NBA's March 25th deadline. And the Warriors were actually playing the Cavaliers yesterday, and just before the game, they came out with the news that Andre Drummond was going to not be playing. He actually came dressed up, went to the locker room, changed out to his regular clothes, and then post-game is when Draymond Green went off. And he was blasting the NBA and its treatment of players, citing various examples of double standards around the league. And here's a short clip of what he had to say.
To watch Andre Drummond before the game sit on the sideline, then go to the bat, and then come out in street clothes because a team is going to trade him is bullshit.
he is pissed. We're going to have to talk about this in about 10 minutes because there's a lot to this story.
Yeah, there's a lot to unravel with this. And just, there's a lot that goes into the treatment of players and how the players act as well. So we'll talk about that coming up.
And the Detroit Red Wings, they battled at the end of the game yesterday. They earned 1 point, but ended up losing 3-2 in overtime against the Chicago Blackhawks. And I was hoping that we'd have a couple games in a row streak like the Pistons did, but nope. And Corey, what was it that you posted about the Pistons game being postponed?
The Pistons game is postponed due to contact tracing with COVID-19. They didn't say whether the outbreak, which team the outbreak came from, but that's the reason it's postponed today.
So there's no Pistons as well.
They could have had that 3-game winning streak too, man.
I know. So we'll update you throughout that, and I just wanted to give a quick little shout-out to my dude over at the Yellow Eye Center. This guy, the best, and you got to love the Yellow Eye Center because I went to go get custom LASIK with cats, and Stick was actually the one who told me to go there because seeing Stick, especially after getting this where you were pretty much legally blind, now we both have 20/15 vision, and it's the most amazing thing ever. The team there is amazing, and I want you to just call for your free evaluation. If you're watching me right now or listening wearing contacts or glasses, call 1-800-398-EYES or go to yelloweyecenter.com and just get that free evaluation.
Yeah, and if you mention Woodward Sports, you get $1,500 off. So $1,500, that's a hell of a savings. Hell of a savings.
And honestly, like even if I had to pay those $1,500, I still would do it. That's how good that was.
I would pay anything. Speaking of paying anything, Blake Griffin, you discussed it in your news. He gone. Like, essentially, he's gone. The Pistons have decided to shut him down until they can find a suitor for him, essentially. I mean, there's a lot of things we could dive into with Blake Griffin. Like, you talked about it. He hasn't had a dunk since December of 2019.
Literally.
Which is crazy to think about Blake Griffin regressing in that manner because his whole game was built on athleticism. He did some good things here in Detroit. But, Corey, let's throw it to you. How do you feel about the Pistons moving on from Blake Griffin?
I think it's time because I think it actually should have been done in 2019 when he was an all-star, trending towards all-star. That was his highest trade value. They should have gotten rid of him, and arguably they should have gotten rid of Andre Drummond at that time and initiated the rebuild then. But Pistons owner Tom Gores, he went to the playoffs. That was his goal, so he kept Blake Griffin longer than he should have, and his injury history came back to rear its ugly head. I think that him deciding to leave right now or asking to leave, I think it's the best time for both parties. I think anybody that is expecting the Pistons to make a trade is not being realistic because he has a player option next year of $39 million, and any GM that trades for Blake Griffin needs to be fired on the spot because that's just stupid. Why would you trade assets for him when the Pistons are going to have to buy him out and you can get him for significantly cheaper? But I think it's time for him to go. I appreciate what he did here because you got to remember, he was a free agent like several months before that, and he could have went wherever he wanted to go, but the Clippers did the fake jersey retirement, sold him how he's going to be a Clipper for life after they traded Chris Paul to the Rockets, so he went ahead and signed back. Boom, a few months later, he shipped to Detroit, and he went from being in the playoffs every year to, praying that he can make the playoffs. So, and also, too, Blake Griffin, he did his job, and you got to applaud him for that because he was injured his entire time here, and he came about it, he did the business, and he was really active in the community, and he played as hard as he could, and you know what? I respect him for what he did. He didn't like the way he started this season. I know I went real hard on him, but at the same time, good dude, and he did what he could here.
Yeah, I saw some people like bashing him on Twitter because, Joey, I think you put out the tweet that just said, thank you for everything you've done here to Blake Griffin. And people were responding like, what has he done here? He did nothing. And it's like, listen, yes, we didn't win playoff games. Yes, we didn't get to a championship. But for Blake Griffin to come here and handle himself as the professional that he did, like that dude, you never had to question his effort. I mean, that game against the Bucks when he was playing on one leg in the playoffs, he showed his heart. Like he was a consummate professional here in the city. You never heard him getting in trouble. I mean, half the time, though, I heard he flies out after the games, flies to L.A., and then comes back. Like, the dude didn't live here. But still, for Blake Griffin to come here from L.A. and not pitch a bitch about being in Detroit, it says a little something about the guy's character. Hopefully we get the same thing out of Jared Goff.
Yeah, so, I don't really know what else I can say about him. It's just time for him to go. But I do love the one thing. That year when he was like All NBA, I believe he was an NBA All Star and he was NBA All Third. He was All NBA third team. That year he balled out, and like you said, on that one leg against the Bucks, he gave what he could. It was just
right.
We didn't have enough. I believe that if the Pistons had a better point guard situation, because Reggie Jackson, I believe, really hindered that team, I don't think that they would have beaten the Bucks, but I think they would have been higher than the 8th seed, where they would have avoided a team like the Bucks and possibly could have done something, done some damage. Because if you're being honest, the Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin front court was not the problem with the Pistons. It was their guard play. Their guard play was terrible. You can win. You may not be able to, they may not have been a championship front court, but they're a playoff series winning front court if they had the right point guard.
See, what I don't understand, though, Corey, is that you say all this defending Blake Griffin, but then when it comes to Matthew Stafford, you're out here bashing him. So it's one or the other, because with Blake Griffin, he only gave us 3 years. Mm-hmm. And you look at the stats that he had. 2018, 24.5 points per game. 2019, 15. This year, 12. So I look at that, and I look at Blake Griffin as garbage. He was good. Get the hell out of here. But when you guys always say this and you defend Matthew Stafford and you go off on Matthew Stafford, but you're going to sit here defending Blake Griffin, I don't understand that, because Matthew Stafford is a different.
First off, I'm not defending Blake Griffin. And second, Stafford is the CEO of the football team as the quarterback. So
Blake Griffin was too. In a rebuild team like we are right now, we need that leader like him.
He was the locker room leader. Well, there you go. You just solidified my point right there. Blake Griffin was a locker room leader. Stafford was not a locker room leader, and some of his teammates have come out and said that.
When we play without Blake Griffin, though, look how good we are.
But Stafford was not that guy who was the leader of the team. Blake Griffin was. So right there, you just crystallized my point of why we should celebrate Blake Griffin.
See, I disagree on that, because you look at Blake Griffin and what he is when he's on the court, garbage. Our team, garbage.
I like Blake Griffin as a person, but he obviously diminished as a player.
And
that's one thing that's a little bit different from Stafford, is he's always been a good guy, and he, to me, never really diminished as a player. It's just he kept getting hurt all the last 2 seasons. But if we run down Blake's stats, like you said, 2018, 2019, 24.5 points per game. Since then, he's only played in 38 games, 13.8 points, 35% field goal percentage, 28 from three-point. Then this season, and this is what was really pissing Joey off early in the season. This season, he's 36.5% from field goals, 31% from three-point, but over half his attempts are three-point shots right now. And that is not the Blake Griffin you want on your team.
You remember, I'm the one, I was banging the table about that to begin with. I'm like, yo, they gotta sit him. They gotta do something. I've said that since day one. I'm only saluting Blake Griffin's professionalism on his way out.
Professionalism for sure.
Yeah, his play diminished because he was injured. Like his body just could not stand up throughout the rest of the season. So I'm not defending his play. I'm just saying, hey, you know what? I appreciate what you did here. Even with your health, because
yeah, his play's been bad though.
His play is definitely taking a dive.
And then when you look at it, he's the 8th highest paid player in the league right now. Did you guys know that he's he's 8th in the league right now?
I mean, what was it? A 5-year, $171 million deal.
$36.81 million this year alone. And then next year his contract goes to $39 million for 1 year. 1 year of basketball.
And the thing is, I never wanted that trade. I thought that they should have kept Tobias Harris. He got shell shock in that series when they got swept. I believe it was by the Cavaliers. He got a little shell shock, but I believe that they should have kept him and built around him in that nucleus. But I mean, shoot, Steve Ballmer and Jerry West finessed the hell out of Stan Van Gundy trying to keep his job, and like, oh, you're gonna give us all of that for Blake Griffin?
Yeah, the first,
thank you.
I didn't mind getting Blake on the roster. I really didn't. And then, we were hoping he'd bring Kendall Jenner to the conversation.
I knew that once they got him, he was not going to hold up. It was kind of like what I thought about with Stafford. When you is the guy going to hold up to make that deal? I never at any point thought Blake Griffin was going to hold up. That 2019 year, that was an anomaly.
So you think the Rams right now taking Matthew Stafford is like the Pistons taking Blake Griffin in 2018?
Yes.
A little bit different. I mean, they're hoping to get to a Super Bowl. If they don't win a Super Bowl, that's a failure of a trade.
Yeah. I mean, but also, too, when at that time when Stan Van Gundy got Blake Griffin, he was hoping to, one, save his job and win the playoff series. Neither happened.
Right.
So I don't think it's comparable in the same senses of both teams might not get what they're expecting out of the trade.
You guys want to hear a fun fact about the Pistons right now?
Man, this is not going to be a fun fact.
It is. It's actually a very interesting. When I saw it this morning, it shocked me.
Well, go ahead.
So the Pistons are 3 games out of a playoff spot right now, right?
Yep.
But they're also the second best odds to land the number 1 overall pick.
Wow.
I'm not sure how that works, but
It just shows how bad the East is, truthfully.
honestly, that's what's going on right now. But it's just crazy that the Pistons are this close to the playoffs, but this close to having the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Which way do you want to go?
See, this really puts me in a bind because I don't give a shit where you draft the right player. But to me, basketball's a little bit different than football. Like football, you can steal guys in the 2nd and 3rd round. Basketball, usually outside of a lottery pick, there aren't many guys that just explode out of nowhere. So you really want to be in that lottery, if not in the top 5. But like I said, I'm never going to root for the team to fail. And these Pistons, like, as much as they don't have the people to keep up with other teams right now, their fight is keeping them in these games, and you got to admire that.
Truthfully, without D-Rose and without Blake, I feel like this is the consistency that we're going to need out of the team because we're going to be able to rely on the leaders that we have and Jeremy Grant and a couple of the other players that we got as leaders. Honestly, maybe even throw Mason Plumlee on there at this point.
Yeah, your boy, triple-double.
Seriously, Mr. Triple-Double. But now I'm excited to kind of just see how we play moving forward because we don't have that D Rose and Blake Griffin that are going to be knocking on us like, all right, well, I'm healthy this game. Let me play. My knees can handle this game, but they couldn't last game.
Right. Anthony's saying take the number 1 pick for sure, and we got to shout out everybody else in the chat right now. Hi, Fremont. Hi, Rapali. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Corey. Hi, Dennis. Thank you guys for checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. So, yeah, Blake Griffin, the era is done. How are you going to remember Blake? Let's just wrap this up real quick.
This is going to be a tough one because for Blake, for me, I remember him being the star that he was. But under the Detroit Pistons, he never really was that. I mean, maybe in his first year, 2018, I was excited he was playing pretty well. But I'm going to try and just remember Blake Griffin pre-Pistons because with the Pistons, I wasn't happy with him.
Corey?
I remember Blake Griffin mainly as a great Piston in the community. He did a lot of community service. He showed his face everywhere. And he just went about the business of being a player and a professional. So that's how I remember him. His play here was below what you expected of Blake Griffin, but he came here and he did his job.
Truthfully, though, you mentioned the community service. What really did Blake Griffin do here in Detroit outside of the Pistons events? Because I do a lot of charity on the side. Andre Drummond was the number 1. Andre Drummond and Langston Galloway. Those two were the ones that I saw outside of the organization. I mean, listen, if you do things with the organization, I still respect it. But when you're taking out your personal time, like Andre and Langston Galloway always were doing, that hits me personally because it's like I didn't really see Blake doing things outside of the team stuff.
He's done a few things, but I also don't even like to kind of compare who has done much. I mean, if you do something and you do more than others, hey, that's more power to you.
For sure.
I'm going to remember Blake as the guy who almost brought Kendall Jenner to Detroit. How nice would that have been to see Kendall in the clubs, partying, drinking. And let's just, Art, you got that picture up of Kendall Jenner? Can we just take a moment to appreciate this? She got a lot of backlash for this picture because it's unrealistic body type, but that's pretty realistic to me, and I like it. I like all of it. So Blake Griffin, here's to you, sir. Thank you for your time as a Piston. Wherever you get traded, hopefully you still pull baddies.
This was at that recent shoot. I follow all of them. I saw this shoot.
Ooh, boy.
Kendall doesn't do it for me.
What?
Really? Too skinny?
Too skinny?
Nah, I'm just going to be honest. She's not attractive to me. She's just not.
Do you like that body
I mean, you don't
figure,
have
though?
your glasses on this morning. Does that have anything to do with it?
Oh, no. I mean,
Okay.
I've seen her with glasses on and off. I mean, Kendall she doesn't move the needle for me.
What about her sister?
I don't really like any of the Kardashians, to be quite honest. They're all right.
Courtney's the one, man. Courtney's
Okay,
the one.
that was the
Kourtney's
number
an
one.
exception.
Yeah, see, everybody loves Courtney.
Courtney's the exception. Everybody else is.
See, Chloe came out of nowhere, though.
No, dude.
She's not my number
Well,
one.
that's
She's
all
the last.
fake, man.
I know,
She's
but I'm
fake
just
as hell.
saying, listen, she came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, I'm going Kendall all day. Courtney, then Kendall, if we're
Listen,
doing
I'll-
the hierarchy.
I'll take any of them,
What
and
about
I'm
the
getting
mom,
them knocked
man? You
up.
gotta take the mom.
I'm getting them knocked up.
Getting them knocked up. So staying on the NBA, you mentioned it a little bit in your news with players moving on. Andre Drummond is moving on, and Draymond Green had an issue with how the Cavaliers handled Andre Drummond last night. You want to play the full clip? This is about a minute and a half, but he makes some good points. Before we play this, Corey, what side are you on this? Are you on Draymond's side?
I'm in the middle.
Okay, Joey?
I'm exactly in the middle too. It's like I see where he was coming from. It's just I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I think Draymond's being a little bitch, but
Yeah.
let's go.
Do you feel with Steph? It doesn't feel like a coincidence that his huge scoring nights also coincide with big assist numbers for you guys. I mean, how do you describe your wavelength and trust with each other?
I think, we've over the course of the years have built up a crazy chemistry amongst us. I kind of know where he's at and at all times on the floor. He knows when I have the ball, to just continue cutting and moving around, and I'll find him. And most importantly, other guys are starting to get on that same page and, figuring out kind of where to go on the floor and the space. And so that's been great. I would like to talk about something that's really bothering me, and it's the treatment of players in this league. To watch Andre Drummond before the game sit on the sideline, then go to the back, and then come out in street clothes because a team is going to trade him is bullshit. Because when James Harden asked for a trade and essentially dogged it, I don't think there was no surprise or there's no one's going to fight back that James was dogging it his last days in Houston. But he was castrated for wanting to go to a different team, and everybody destroyed that man. And yet a team can come out and say, oh, we want to trade a guy, and then that guy is to go sit. And if he doesn't stay professional, then he's a cancer, and he's not good in someone's locker room, and he's the issue. And we've seen situations of Harrison Barnes getting pulled off the bench. DeMarcus Cousins finding out that he's traded in an interview after the All-Star game. And we continue to let this happen. But I got fined for stating my opinion of what I thought should happen with another player. But teams can come out and continue to say, oh, we're trading guys, we're not playing you. And yet we're to stay professional. At some point, as players, we need to be treated with the same respect and have the same rights that the team can have. Because as a player, you're the worst person in the world when you want a different situation. But a team can say they're trading you, and that man is to stay in shape. He is to stay professional, and if not, his career is on the line. At some point, this league has to protect the players from embarrassment like that. We talk all of this stuff about you can't do this, you can't say that publicly. If you say that publicly, you're fine. Anthony Davis got fined, I think, $100,000 or something like that for demanding a trade publicly. But you can say Andre Drummond is getting traded publicly, and we're looking to trade him publicly, and he's to stay professional and just deal with it. But then when Kyrie Irving say, oh, my mental health is off, everybody go crazy about that too. Do you not think that affects someone mentally? As much as we put into this game to be great, to come out here and be in shape, to produce for fans every single night, and most importantly, to help your team win, do you think that doesn't affect someone mentally? But as players, we're told to, no, you can't say that, you can't say this, but teams can. It goes along the same lines of when everyone wants to say, oh man, that young guy can't figure it out. But no one wants to say the organization can't figure it out. At some point, the players must be respected in these situations, and it's ridiculous, and I'm sick of seeing it. Y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow or Wednesday.
Tisk, 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 tisk.
What do you mean by that, Corey?
I think, first off, I understand the essence of what Draymond Green is saying. I think that James Harden, when you mention James Harden, to use that example, it kind of totally undermines everything you're trying to say.
Yep. Because
James Harden went about it the entire wrong way. He threw his whole damn team under a bus on his way out. He damn near did everything but burn the bridge his damn self. So I don't like the James Harden example. I think, hell, if you would have used Blake Griffin, that would have been a great example to facilitate your point of how Blake Griffin went about it. Him and his representative went to the team behind the doors. They've discussed them. It was a mutual thing, and they're working it out. So that's the way you go about it. But the thing I don't understand is that NBA players, they sign the contracts,
right?
They sign the collective bargaining agreement. Yep. So are y'all not looking at what the hell y'all reading? Because if it says that you can't do that, that's what you signed. So, I mean, regardless, the NBA is a business. Once you sign that contract, you're not a product of the team, but you're an employee. And they can do whatever the hell they want with you in professionally inside of that contract that you signed. So I don't understand, like, a lot of players these days having buyer's remorse on deals they signed. Yes, you're getting paid a lot of money, and you shouldn't. There are some owners, we've seen it, like Donald Sterling, who's now out of the league. Some of those owners did have that mentality of that they owned a player, and they were racist or whatnot. But I mean, all of the other stuff aside, I mean, if a team wants to sit you like they did Andre Drummond, it's within their right. You're a product of the team. You're an asset of the team professionally. So, I mean, I don't know what the hell you get mad about.
Yeah, here's the deal. Draymond Green, shut the hell up. Like, just shut the hell up. And like you said, when he brought up, Harden, like, that just shows that you have no argument whatsoever. Like, Harden railroaded an entire team, ripped the culture out of a team, cried because he wasn't getting his way. That team had built multiple different teams around him. They tried to reinvent the game of basketball to give Harden every opportunity to be a champion. He couldn't get it done no matter how many times they gave him a new team. We tried small ball. We're not going to play defense. We're just going to let you jack up shots. And then you go back, like, even to a Kawhi Leonard who faked an injury for so many years. He screwed over the San Antonio Spurs just so he could go to Toronto and get paid, and then screw Toronto for his 1-year contract, leave there to go to LA. Like, I don't understand how these multi-millionaires can sit up here and complain that they know exactly how this game is played, but they don't want it to be played that way anymore. Like, listen, Andre Drummond is an asset to the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. That's all he is on paper, is an asset. If you send him out there and he twists his ankle, not only are you doing your business a disservice, you're doing your team and the teammates and the coach and everybody surrounding that organization a disservice by parading him out there just because you feel you owe him something. You're paying him. If you're paying him to sit the bench, that's what you're paying him to do. If you're paying him to play, that's what you're paying him to do. His job is to listen to the organization and do what they tell him to do. I am not going to have any sympathy for a Draymond Green, for an Andre Drummond, for any of those guys, because we've seen NBA players dictate the league, and this is kind of what we talked about last week with NFL quarterbacks. It's starting to turn in that to the NFL, where the quarterbacks, if they're unhappy and they're not getting everything that they want, they're going to cry, they're going to complain, and they're going to want out. And that's just not how these things are supposed to go. Like, the owners are supposed to acquire the players with the GM. The coaches are supposed to coach the players. And the players are supposed to play. The players are not the GM. They shouldn't be making these decisions because they won't make the decisions that are best for themselves or the team. It's only going to be about how much money they can make and where they can go. So I just hate this whole concept of whiny millionaires saying, oh, I'm not getting treated right. Like, you know what? Go talk to the person who has to, like, deliver mail today in this snow up and down the street. Their boss isn't coming to them and coddling them and saying, oh, it's too snowy, you can't go out there. No, it's get your job done. If you don't get it done, you don't get paid. So, like, if you're a millionaire, shut the hell up.
I'm going to start this off by saying the NBA has been soft and is getting only softer. I'm going to start by saying the NFL is following that path. And I'm scared for both of these leagues. But when you are getting paid this much to stick in Corey's points, you have to perform the job. And I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and he used the term here. He said, my dad growing up told me that NBA and athletes were high-paid slavery. And when I looked at that, I was like, it's kind of different to Corey's point because
it's employmentship. It's not slavery.
You signed this contract, so you know every single thing that you have to do, and you either deliver it or you don't.
Right.
And then you mentioned the guy that's going and delivering the mail. Think about the people, especially right now, for Draymond to come out and say all this is complete garbage, because right now is a time where so many people are on the verge of not even being able to afford a mortgage, on the verge of losing their job, lost hours, took pay decreases.
But Joey, Andre Drummond has to wear a suit and sit at the end of the bench.
And then he's going to say all of this to the fans who are struggling. The fans can't even go there watching the games, and you're going to sit up there saying all that. It doesn't add up to me. And him going up there and saying that just proves that Andre Drummond is one of the softest, that Draymond Green is one of the softest in the NBA.
I don't think Draymond Green, I don't think that means that he's soft. I think that he's
in his feelings for sure.
He just has his opinion is not stemming from, his opinion has no legs.
Right.
That's all it is. His opinion has no legs.
It's not based in reality.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Which equates to softness. How are you going to stand up there defending James Harden?
Like, I get the mental aspect of it. Like, oh, you're accusing people of being mentally soft and that wears on people. Okay, I can understand that. But that's like the media. That's not the teams that are coming down on these players. That's more of like social media and stuff being like, oh, James Harden can't get it done. He wants out. He's soft. I don't know if the Houston Rockets are sitting there going, you're soft, and like bearing down on his mental state.
You know what? You never really know, because some of these stories just come out years later about what really went on behind closed doors. Like, but still, again, I understand his point. I understand what he's talking about.
Right.
So it's just that I don't necessarily agree with it, because, like, again, the James Harden example really undermines everything you're saying, because he's not the person you want to use as the poster child for that point. When he went about everything that you're saying, he went about all of that the entire wrong way.
I believe so. Yeah.
But I mean, I do appreciate Draymond still coming out and saying that, because they still need to talk about this. Like, this is a big topic right now where a lot of players are going to be whining their way out to another team. They're not happy with their situation. So the players do have this right to voice their opinions.
But this only applies to star players. If you're a bench player and you pull that shit, gone. Go down to the G League, go to Europe, go play basketball somewhere else. Like, if you're going to sit and pout and you're the 12th man, like, this only happens with big-time players, and that's what I feel. They just feel that they can abuse their power, and it becomes more about me than about the team.
And if you do go against let's look at all these players, a Draymond Green, an Andre Drummond, a Blake Griffin, a James Harden, Westbrook, like, all these players are some of the biggest names in the NBA that you kind of just have to sit back and listen to them. They can't do anything.
Well, and then look at the other side of the coin. You got a LeBron James that just floats around whatever city he wants to go to. You got Anthony Davis that demands a trade while he's playing for New Orleans, then finally gets traded to L.A. where he wants to be. Like, you're ruining the integrity of the league because a team that drafted you, you have no loyalty to them. Your only loyalty is to yourself. And I get that. Oh, well, the team doesn't have loyalty to me. Why should I show loyalty to them? It's like, they signed you. They put faith in you. They gave you a contract. They gave you money in your pocket. Show them some respect and at least put the effort out there.
I think the NBA, I mean, we have to look at it like this. NBA is a business, and anytime you're able to be in a position to leverage your situation to make your situation better, you're going to do that. I mean, I think anybody is. If within the confines, if I know that you're trying to trade me to, let's say I have an expiring contract, and you're thinking about moving me to, I don't know, the Pistons. If I let the Pistons know, hey, if you trade for me, I'm not signing an extension, so you're going to be getting me on the rental. That's on you, and that's like the chance that the Toronto Raptors took. Kawhi Leonard did not want to play any longer for the San Antonio Spurs, so he let all the teams know that, hey, if you trade for me, it's going to be a 1-year rental. I'm not signing an extension. Toronto said, you know what? We don't care. We'll take it. And what happened? He went there and he got a ship and he exercised his right as a free agent and left and went to the Clippers, and they still celebrate him to this day right now. But
that's where free agency works, and that's what it's supposed to do. But you got to understand, just as much as free agency works and you're able to pick where you want to go, when a team owns your rights, they own your rights. Like, you are a commodity at that point. Again,
that's true. But at the same time, if you can work out a deal to get out of a contract that will be more beneficial to you business-wise, at least attempt it. The way that James Harden went about it, wrong way. The way that Blake Griffin's going about it, you can say that's the correct way because he's going about it like a professional,
right,
behind the scenes.
I wish I could go about all my decisions knowing that I was making $36 million on the back end.
I mean,
I just feel like every decision would be a lot easier.
A lot easier.
I do want to address this right here. Lynn said that they believe they're all the guys are overpaid. I don't think they're overpaid because
they create the revenue.
We all pay to go see them,
right? And
those guys make the owners billions of dollars. So if you're making me billions of dollars, giving you a $100-something million, that you ain't overpaid.
I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's like, God, these guys are making a lot of money to play a game, but then you got to crunch the numbers and look at the revenue that they're bringing in, the ticket sales, the jersey sales, the TV numbers, and they're making a lot of money for a lot of people. What's up, Art?
But what about franchise tagging? Like in the NFL, there's franchise tagging. In the NBA, that's not a thing. So it seems like with franchise tagging, you're kind of you're stuck with that team. So where at NBA, you're not.
Yeah, the franchise tag was like a blessing and a curse. Like it came about to help with that situation, and it's really evolved into owners just abusing it to keep a player under 1-year contract and never having to really renegotiate with them. Like you saw it with Dak Prescott in Dallas to the point where they franchise tagged him for 2 years in a row, and then he broke his ankle, and now he's screwed. I mean, he'll get another contract, but it ain't going to be that $40 million that he wanted.
But here's the one thing I do want to say where things might get tricky, and I'm got to research when they're going into the new CBA again. There might be a lockout because with all this player movement and stuff like that, I can honestly take that back. With all the player movement and how they're trying to get out of their contracts and everything like that, I can honestly see a situation where NBA owners will try to, one, they're going to start doing away with the no trade clauses, and then two, they're going to start dealing away with the player options like what Blake Griffin has, because if you have a player option, you can exercise that option and boom, I'm stuck with this team and now you got to pay me. So with all of this right now, I can see at least one or both of those kind of being done within the next CBA, and that will kind of really change the league and change.
There's going to be another lockout.
There's going to be a lockout because one of those are going to go.
Yeah. And the players aren't going to be happy, and we're going to get another lockout. And I hate lockouts in sports. Like, I understand unions, and they got to fight for their rights. I get all of that stuff, but when you lock out a sport, it really affects you for longer than the lockout. You know, there's such a trickle-down effect to, like that one year when hockey was locked out, I didn't even miss hockey. It was like, oh, hockey's locked out? Oh, okay. Honestly, like the Red Wings weren't great at that time, and it was just like, okay, hockey's not playing. Baseball's been locked out. I don't think I've really ever been through a football lockout. Refs. We've been through football ref lockout, and that was awful. That was awful. But baseball, basketball, and hockey have all been through lockouts, and it hurts the product.
Yeah, so that's where we're going, and it's a dangerous game. I believe that the players are playing,
right?
Because at the end of the day, the owners are going to win. They always are. Now, if the owners want to operate in good faith and make some concessions, then cool. That just means that there is a healthy relationship between the players and the owners. And I think over the past few years of what we've seen in the NBA, as far as the things they've done with the contracts, social justice, and everything like that, I believe that we've seen a healthier dynamic between the NBA and its players as opposed to the NFL and its players. So I believe that they're going to I believe they may kind of get something worked out, but I would not be surprised if there's a lockout due to this.
It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on, and we just wanted to talk about Draymond talking about the players and how they're mistreated. But, if putting a guy in a suit and making him sit for a game is mistreatment, sign me up. Yeah, sign me up, baby.
Yeah, it's like I said, I just don't understand that quote. Hey, we're about to move you. Let's be real. Drummond, you don't want to be in Cleveland anyway.
Right.
You want to get bought out.
And we don't want you to get hurt, You
want to get Drummond, realistically, he wants to get bought out or he wants to get traded to a contender. He wants to go to a contender regardless. So him sitting and not hurting himself, it helps the organization and it helps you get closer to what you want.
Right. So we got Adham's parlay of the day coming up in about 10 minutes. Let's do this real quick. Art, let's take a 15-second break, and we'll be right back with some NFL football talk.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're broadcasting live right now, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Twitter. Our app will be out within the next week or so make sure you look forward to that. And also make sure you check out Baligian and Bell today at 11 a.m. My name is Stick. I'm here with Joey, Corey, Art over there, and producer Cam. We got Adham and Fish in the building. And I came across something yesterday. It was a tweet, and I thought it was a very interesting tweet. It was about how much NFL running backs in the Super Bowl have made and what their salary was in each Super Bowl. And, like, when you look at this list, it's not a traditional list. I mean, they even had Percy Harvin on here as a running back at some point, which I didn't see Percy Harvin as a running back. But this leads into the question, because I believe Joik was talking about this on the Baligian and Bell show at one point. Are running backs now just disposable, essentially in the NFL?
I think so. There's no more Barry Sanders. There's no more Emmitt Smith. There's no more Thurman Thomas or to go ladder. There's no more LaDainian Tomlinson or Marshall Faulk. There's no
three down backs.
Yeah, there aren't any more backs that are like those type of guys who can change not a game but a franchise.
Right.
So because now I'm seeing a lot of running back by committee, and back in the day it wasn't like that all the time. So I won't say they don't matter, but you can kind of get by paying a couple of guys to split up the job.
They're definitely undervalued. Like, even if you look back at last year's NFL draft, the first running back off the board didn't go till number 32 to Kansas City, and that was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then you got Jonathan Taylor, you got Swift all coming off the board shortly after that. But those are second-round picks. Like, nobody is spending a number one overall pick on a running back. Like, the highest one lately has been Saquon Barkley, and you see what happens. He's great, but he also got injured, and once you're injured, the best ability is availability.
The game has changed.
The game has changed.
And with the whole science and advancements in training, strength and training, the defense is getting better and more physical. So some of these guys who's running, they getting, not to discount anybody back in the day, but these guys right now I think are a lot stronger, and they're knocking people's heads off.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Derrick Henry.
He's the anomaly.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because you look at it, and especially as Lions fans, I mean, the Detroit Lions haven't had a good running back in such a long time, so running game has never really been our specialty here.
Right.
But you look across the league, and you got the Derrick Henrys, the Dalvin Cooks, and all these running backs that are essential parts to the teams, but they could still do without.
Yeah, and so let's run down this list real quick. It's the leading rusher from the last 12 Super Bowls and their base salary. So let's start 2009, Pierre Thomas for the Saints, $460,000 was his base salary.
Sheesh.
And then the Packers, James Starks in 2010, $320,000.
James Starks,
right?
That guy.
The Giants, Ahmad Bradshaw, $1.5 million. 2012, the Ravens, Ray Rice, $2 million. 2013, Percy Harvin. He wasn't a running back, but he must have had the most rushing yards that game. He's at $2.5 million, but like I said, he was more of a wide receiver. He wasn't really a running back at that point.
He's like a Hardman for the Chiefs.
Kind of, pretty much. 2014, the Patriots, LeGarrette Blount, $730,000. 2015, Broncos, C.J. Anderson, $585,000. Patriots in 2016, LeGarrette Blount, $760,000. 2017 Eagles, LeGarrette Blount, $900,000. 2018 Patriots, Sony Michel, $480,000. Chiefs with Damian Williams last year, $1,050,000. And then you got the Buccaneers this year at $2 million. None of these guys are high-paid running backs. We're lucky. We got DeAndre Swift on his rookie contract right now. And to me, he's going to be an elite running back coming up this next year. But I don't think we need to build a team around a running back based off this.
But the running back helps you get there, I feel like.
Yeah.
And especially like for the Lions, just having both styles to your offense is a big deal because we've only been one way or the other.
Right.
So it's tough.
What I like about this, though, because we were talking a little bit about DeAndre Swift, and we got this sent to us last night. Jared Goff on play-action passes since 2018, 376 completions, first in the league, 5,176 yards, first in the league. So we do need to have that running game here in Detroit, and we do need to see something big out of DeAndre Swift. But if I'm going back through the Super Bowls, none of these teams really had great running backs.
No, they were all the guys were serviceable, and I believe that DeAndre Swift is just a tad bit above serviceable, and I believe we're going to see a lot from him this year. Anthony Lynn already talked about that. Anthony Lynn and Deuce Staley talked about that. They both can't wait to work with him. That they believe he's a three down back, and that he deserves. They said that he needs at least bare minimum like 25 touches, not necessarily carries, but he needs to touch the ball at least 25 times a game. And they haven't even scratched the surface of what he can be. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what DeAndre Swift can do. But also too, I want to see who else they add into this running back community because it can't be all DeAndre Swift. I don't know what they do about Kerryon Johnson. It looks like Adrian Peterson is going to try to head to Tampa. So we're gonna
be the new Leonard Fournette down there.
Yeah, because Leonard Fournette is kind of unrealistic in what he thinks he's going to get paid, so
Right.
he might be out of there. So I'm curious to see where the Lions go with this. But just to get back on point, no, we don't need to shell out a whole lot of money for some real big, special back. You can kind of build by committee. And looking at this list, you just
Bring
need
back
somebody.
Joyke Bell.
I mean, hey, you could.
Hey,
I look at him every time he's doing a show, and I'm like, dude's still built like he could play in the NFL years out.
I give him the ball on the 1 yard line for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like, Joy can get it done. He could be that power back, but that's what the Lions need now. We have DeAndre Swift. I expect to see more out of Hawkinson this year, considering we brought in, a tight ends coach as our head coach, and just Hawkinson's the man. But, yeah, when I saw that, it was just like, damn, man. Everybody complains about, like, us never having a running game in Detroit since Barry Sanders left. According to the last 12 Super Bowls, it doesn't matter if you have a running game or not.
You need a running game. You just don't necessarily need that 1,500 yard rusher. You definitely need a running game.
The way the NFL has gone, though, you look at the Super Bowl and who we got right now, right? Tom Brady, just the most elite passer in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mahomes, who got the wheels. So it's not necessarily a running back, but the running game still is so dynamic. And that's why, back to my point of who I want.
Who do you want?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields still.
I'm telling you, that's the way where the NFL is going.
Yeah.
You see so many quarterbacks that got the wheels, and that wheels effect is where the NFL is going because maybe they don't need the running backs in the Super Bowl, but you still need the running game.
Yeah, you definitely need to make the defense at least respect the run. Because if they don't, that's kind of what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They didn't really respect the run of the Chiefs. So all they did was, they played 3 deep safeties and just cut them, intermediate passes and let Patrick Mahomes try to pick you apart, which he got a little greedy and he's not a big check down guy. And that's kind of how they got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and it also did help that 2 of his linemen were gone for that game.
Yeah, and he had turf toe, and we can make excuses all day. But
don't give credit to that. Devin White, man, he had his eyes on Mahomes.
Yes,
My man Sue.
That Devin White and Sue, they put a hit out on him. That was bold business.
They literally did.
That was bold.
So let's do this. Let's take one more 15-second break. Coming up next, we have Adam's Parlay of the Day. If you guys are looking for some fun bets tonight, Adam puts together, I don't know how many teams he did today. Yesterday it was a 5-team parlay. Today it's a 4-team parlay. So we're going to get into Adam's Parlay of the Day next on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. Joey is to my left. Corey just stepped off the stage so we could bring on our gambling expert. He is known as the man who pounds the table and pounds the women.
That's right. Oh.
He said that's right. You got to quit
Calm
agreeing
myself.
with me before
Someone
I
had a
finish
good
my
Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of. No. His name is Adham. Welcome, Adham.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Adham? So, yesterday you had a 5-team parlay. How'd that play out?
I hit 4 out of the 5.
Okay.
Super unlucky this week.
Yeah.
Which one was
really
it? Which one messed you up?
I believe it was the Sixers not covering the spread.
Oh.
God damn, the Jazz are super good this year.
The Jazz are amazing.
They're legit.
They are a legit team. All right, so what do you got for today? What are the games that you're looking forward to?
Today we're going to go with a 4-team parlay. I keep missing on one, so I figured I'd take one off of the 5. I usually do 5 every single day, but today we're going to do 4. We're going to start in hockey. I'm going to take the Dallas Stars to win straight up. They're always a safe bet, and usually every time I bet on them, they've made me very happy. So they'll kick off my my 4-team parlay today.
Okay.
Second game, I'm going to take the Bucks straight up against the Toronto Raptors. The Bucks have been funky this year. Not a super consistent team, similar to the Celtics, really. They've been playing like shit, too. So it's interesting to see. Hopefully they can bounce back. And then I got the over-under. Well, I'm sorry. The over is 221.5 in the Denver Nuggets-Boston Celtics game.
I love the Nuggets, too, man. Like, I like the Jazz, but I
Jokic
love
for
the
me
Nuggets.
is top 3 in MVP voting.
Dude, he's amazing. Like, he literally looks like your dad out there just schooling everybody.
He's the definition of what a modern center in the NBA should look like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, big, mobile,
can
everything,
dribble,
yeah.
can pass the ball, isn't just stuck on the block like some shitty players in Cleveland. Andre
body
Drummond.
like a milk bag.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude though.
He's a strange fella. I love him.
And then the last game, I'm just taking the Brooklyn Nets straight up to beat the Suns. They're actually underdogs in that game, so it's kind of a free bet. You know, KD's back.
Yeah,
I take them over the Suns.
Why would they be underdogs
Suns are
against
hot.
the
I
Suns?
believe they're 17-9. Chris Paul, man, for some reason, these last 2 seasons went to the Thunder, playoff team, made a huge impact. Comes to the Suns, that team has matured so much. I'm not saying they're gonna compete or contend in the Western Conference playoffs, but you never know.
But you look at KD being back in the lineup, it's like this is the team that is cheating the NBA.
I don't think so. I don't think
cheating.
so.
This freaking.
This is what the NBA is built on. The NBA is built on bullshit dynasties. I mean, the Pistons
Literally.
are really the last team, and the Mavericks that I can recall that weren't a dynasty, a super team.
Yeah.
And the Spurs, of course, but you know they had Popovich, Parker,
They had a big
Duncan.
three.
They had a big 3, but it wasn't your generic or your standard big 3 of they all came from different places. That was kind of homegrown.
It was.
Same with the Warriors. People knock the Warriors dynasty a lot. That was homegrown. KD came at the tail end of it.
Oh, they had already had a championship
Klay
under
Thompson,
their belt.
Draymond, Steph, all through the draft. I believe Draymond was a 2nd-round pick.
Yep.
But the NBA is built on super teams, so I'm
And
not sure why
everybody
people
overlooked
bitch.
Steph.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like that was a steal. So those are your one more. Let's run them down. Put the graphic up one more time, and let's run them down real quick. If you guys want to get in on this, go to mybookie.com right now, and you can enter promo code Woodward, and that way they'll match you up to 50% of your first deposit.
Yeah, we'll be posting it on social media today.
Okay.
The parlay, we'll be putting it on Best Bets Michigan, Best Bet MI Michigan.
Yep.
That'll be fun. But just to recap, the Dallas Stars winning straight up tonight against the Nashville Predators, the Bucks to beat the Raptors, the Nuggets and the Celtics to go over 221.5, and the Brooklyn Nets to straight up beat the Phoenix Suns.
All right.
That's a pretty safe bet there, too.
That is Adam's parlay of the day. I'm going to hit some crowd noise for you.
Hey.
Yeah. Thank you, Adham.
Yeah, thank you guys. Always fun to be up here.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to touch on that we touched on in the first hour?
I felt like you guys were a bit soft on Blake Griffin and Stafford.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
because look, we don't. What they do off the field is great and all, but we're not judging people based on what they do off the field. It's what they do on the court and on the football field. Matthew Stafford, bye-bye, 10-59 against playoff teams. I'm not going to cry at night. I'm not losing sleep at all. Blake Griffin, wow, he took us to a playoff series in the shitty East as an 8th seed, got swept, he played hurt. Okay, what am I supposed to cry for him? Like,
no, but
it's too... there's too much romance in it.
I guess I've set the bar so low, like where if you're
That's
not a diva, it's like, oh, this guy's actually decent. Like I can root for him.
Both super professionals.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock their character, but I'm not judging them based on their character. I'm judging them based on their performance. That's all. It's not a personal attack on them.
Yeah.
So that's all.
All right. Well, I appreciate that,
Yeah,
Adam.
no
Thank
problem,
you
no
very
problem.
much.
I love how he
I don't
says,
know why Art's laughing.
I love how he says, you guys were so soft on them, and then he brings his soft voice.
Right.
Like, Andre Drummond.
I want angry Adam.
Matthew
Tell me
Stafford.
how bad they suck.
They sucked ass. I mean, I don't need to tell you. You could just look it up.
Just go look at the tape and the stats,
Go look at the
baby.
Pistons with Blake Griffin, and then go look at the Lions for 12 years with Matthew Stafford. Tell me how it went for you guys.
It didn't go well, and Terry Foster got me on that yesterday, man. Like, because he's got this question that every Lions fan, it's hard for us to answer because I'm a Lions fan. I admit it. You know, like I'm more I've grown up with this team. They're part of my blood. It's part of what my whole life has been predicated around Detroit sports. And Terry Foster looked at me. He's like, "All right, what have they ever done for you?"
Yeah,
I had no answer. I didn't have an answer, and like when I put it in retrospect like that, it's like, damn, man. Like, you know, at least with the Tigers, I've been to a World Series game.
You've
with
had
the
memories.
Red Wings, I've seen a championship.
Pistons.
With the Pistons, 2004 was one of the greatest years of my life because of the Pistons. Like they've given me that. The Lions, they've never
People
given
like to
me
forget.
anything.
I believe it was 7 straight Eastern Conference Finals. The Pistons went 6. Yeah, so I mean, the Lions are just in a different class of shit. So I don't know
Listen.
why we have to be nice about it.
Listen, when you talk about the Detroit Lions and what they've done for you, imagine being the best of the best always, the Lakers or these teams where all you know is winning. What the Lions have taught us is that even though you're not winning, you still got to be patient, you still got to work hard, and that's what you could appreciate out of Matthew Stafford because, listen, I know we
Thank
keep
you
saying.
for teaching me that life lesson.
I
of
know
patience.
they keep saying that this is the year. I believe that this is the year, guys.
For Matt Stafford or for the Lions?
For us.
Look, if we're
I'm over
honest
that.
with each
Us.
other, Stafford was given, I think, 4 or 5 years of a really good roster and did nothing with it. The other 8 years, I could give a shit. We were obviously a bad team. We deserved to suck. We deserved to lose football games when we were bad. But he had a good 4 to 5 year window, 0 division titles, 0 playoff wins, underachieving under Caldwell. Like, we don't
Under
have to
the best coach in Lions history,
Don't
you
give me
say?
that shit, man. I was having such a good morning before you
The
said
best
that.
coach in Lions history, Jim Caldwell.
Yeah,
See, but
so
that's what's
successful.
Hey,
like-
listen, you want to say you don't judge a guy on his character, you only go by the numbers? If we're doing that, Caldwell's the best in history.
How? 0 division
Stafford's the
titles,
best
0
quarterback we've had.
0 playoff wins.
I'm just going by the numbers, baby.
You're not
The
looking.
numbers.
Okay, but you're looking at the numbers you want to look at. You're not looking at
looking
0
at
playoff
win-loss
wins.
record and
You're
playoff appearances.
You're looking at 0 division titles. You're looking at
But that's
a
every Lions
a
coach.
horrendous.
That's
I'm not,
every Lions
I'm talking
coach.
about them. I'm not
Only
talking about the
Fonz
Lions
is
history.
the only one who won a division. Outside of that, no Lions coaches.
Before our lifetime.
But why are we setting the bar so low? Like, oh, this guy won a game.
I'm
so
I'm not setting the bar
Well, you
low.
are. You're
I'm
comparing
saying,
it to the shit that's
No.
been the Lions' history for no reason.
Right,
We're talking
but
about Jim Caldwell.
Whether you want to
and his
compare it
4
or not,
years here.
he is the best Lions coach of all time. He may not be a good coach. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying he's the best Lions coach of all time. That's like if I dated all ugly bitches my whole life and I date a girl that's slightly less ugly, she's still the prettiest girl I ever dated, even though she's ugly as shit.
Man, I get what you're saying, but no, I'm not. I'm still not gonna give him
Listen,
greatest
if-
Lions coach of all time. Didn't deliver
if that's
anything
what you want to
significant.
hold on to, then go ahead. But we're talking about the entire league and what we got to do to win Super Bowls. I mean, yes, got us to the playoff, whatever. That doesn't mean shit when you're looking at the
look
grand
running
scheme
back
of things.
position. You guys were bringing it up before I came on. Running backs are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Unless you have a good offensive line, a great quarterback, and a good head coach, and a solid defense, because they don't win you football games. They'll get you through the regular season. But go look at Dalvin Cook. Go look at McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. Go look at all the top running backs in the NFL. They are not in the Super Bowl. They're not in the AFC or
Right.
NFC Championship.
It's quarterback based.
It's quarterback and head coach based. This is the league.
Right,
You
but
have
if you
to have
looked at-
those two right.
Like, look at the playoffs and look who was in the playoffs this year and, like, who made it through. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Like, those are all elite quarterbacks. Like, the best teams in the playoffs had the best quarterbacks. So it's a quarterback league now, for sure.
It's always been. I think post 99, I think the running back significance kind of took a dip. We saw the Priest Holmes in the early 2000s, Jamal Lewis, those guys kind of held on for dear life. But after that, this is a quarterback league. It's driven by quarterbacks, and that's just the way it is.
Yep.
You need a run game, of course. You need a run game because of schematics and making teams respect and putting 7-8 people in the box. That's why. It's not because you need a running back.
Right.
Like, if DeAndre Swift in 3-4 years wants $100 million contract, bye. I can go find a similar running back with
Exactly.
similar production in the 5th or 6th round. No problem.
What about
This is
running
the history
quarterback?
of the NFL?
Or James Robinson, undrafted this year, top 5 running back in the league. Like it's crazy what has happened to the running back in the NFL.
in my lifetime that led teams to Super Bowls was Terrell Davis.
Yeah, and he didn't
Carried
even
in the playoffs, like from wild card all the way to Super Bowl. That dude was the fucking workhorse.
Yeah, he gave Elway his championship.
He did
for sure.
But that was the
And
only
he
one
played
in
blind.
my lifetime.
That's one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite Super
Migraines.
Bowls. Yeah, he had migraines
That's
and he
crazy.
couldn't see, and all they needed to do was run one play-action play
At the goal line.
At the goal line, and they sent him back out there, fucking blind. Did the play-action pass? Dude couldn't see, and Elway gets the touchdown. Like.
Screw
Crazy
that.
to
Matthew
me.
Stafford against the Browns, way better play. Screw that.
Jesus.
Yeah, beat the Browns.
Well, thank you, Adam, for
Yeah.
coming up and sharing your parlay of the day. Let's take a 15-second break. When we come back, we got Joey's news. I'm going to be doing something very exciting that I want to talk about next. And there's some NFL players that need a change. We got a list coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network. It is 9 a.m. at the Woodward Sports Network and everywhere in the Eastern time zone. So thank you guys for waking up with us. Sorry, Art. I started sounding like a radio guy. It's 9 a.m.
9:01 on the dot.
That's 9:01 on the dial, and traffic and weather together on the 10s. It's a snowy morning out here in
Are we listening to Detroit radio right now?
Yeah, oh, Jesus. But thank you guys for waking up with us. We appreciate you. Please be safe today if you're going out driving around. If you're not and you're stuck at home, make sure you're watching these shows all day long or go listen to our podcast. Go to woodwardsports.com. You'll see all the podcasts up there. Everything from the MI Canacast, Art's Art of Combat, Corey's Everything Is, Ben's Origin. We got MI Puck Drop if you love hockey. So just lots of things going on at the Woodward Sports Network. But thank you guys for waking up with us this morning. Joey, it is now time for Yo News.
Good morning, everyone.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's news.
Let's go.
So we started off remembering the NFL wide receiver Vincent Jackson found dead at 38 in a Florida hotel room yesterday. And there's still some more investigation in this whole story, but to kind of get you caught up to speed, he checked into this hotel on January 11th, and he's been staying in that room ever since. So it's been over a month in this hotel. His family reported him missing last Wednesday, and then that report was canceled of him missing because they found out that his well-being was confirmed through the hotel staff there, and they were talking with him. So this whole story is just sad. It really is, especially at such a young age of 38. Rest in peace to Vincent Jackson. And we just spent a lot of time talking about the craziness in the NBA and how soft the league has become. Blake Griffin and the Pistons agree that he will be out of the lineup until they work through a resolution on his playing future. And they had a game today, but it is postponed due to COVID and contact tracing. And then we go over to Cleveland. Former Detroit Piston Andre Drummond. The Cavs are no longer playing him as they work to trade him before the NBA's March 25th deadline. So there's just player after player.
Yeah.
Just wanting out.
Yeah, that's all right. This is our rebuild, man. We've talked about how these vets are holding back the Pistons. I think it's time to move on. Blake will be all right with his $36 million contract.
Yes. He'll be just fine. 50 over the next 2 years. Like, come on. And then here's a short little clip of what we just covered with Draymond Green blasting the NBA and its treatment of players.
To watch Andre Drummond before the game sit on the sideline, then go to the bat, and then come out in street clothes because a team is going to trade him is bullshit.
Wah, wah, wah. The Detroit Red Wings, I thought they were going to get these back-to-back wins, but unfortunately they did not pull it off, but they did get a point, losing 3-2 in overtime yesterday against the Chicago Blackhawks, and we need some more W's out of our Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, we'll get them.
It's a rebuild.
Yep.
Just another team in rebuild. I just want to give a quick little shout-out, though, to my people over at downtown Fenton. It is the Bridge Street Exchange. You got to go into that store because The team there is just so welcoming, and it's just a beautiful store where you could go for fellas. It's a one-stop shop. You could go get your beard cleaned up with the Detroit Grooming Company and get their products. You could get thorough good boots on a day like today. You need some good boots. And then, of course, Carhartt. They got the baddest Carhartt room in the back. So go check out bridgestreetexchange.com. Use the code word WSN to get 15% off your order.
Yeah, I made the mistake of just wearing my Adidas shoes today, the lowriders, and I took one step into a foot of snow, and boom, sock filled up, shoe filled up. I got wet shoes right now. Anybody else got wet shoes here?
That's the worst, and then they start stinking later, too.
Why are you shaking your head at me, Art, like you're a disappointed father?
I just don't understand. I mean, it's 6 to 10 inches of snow. You ain't got some boots on? I got my boots on.
And I don't have boots to match the outfit.
Did your dog chew up the boots again? Be honest.
They did. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woody ate my boots. It's all right, though. I love that damn dog.
Hey, at least you beat Adham, though. Adham got the Chuck Taylor Converse.
Yeah, no, mine are very similar to Adam's, and we got wet boots over here, man. Corey, what you rocking today? Corey's wearing fresh sneakers, man.
Some 270s.
I don't know what that means.
You got the 270s on?
Yeah.
The Nike boys?
Yep.
Damn. All right. Well, I got some good news, and I got some bad news, guys. The good news is I was supposed to do color commentary on a high school basketball game, #1 team in the state versus the #2 team in the state tonight.
You just said supposed to, so I know what the bad news is.
Bad news is
I've got the lower third that says that you are.
I just got the text that the game got canceled.
I'm taking it off.
Yeah. No, you can leave it up because it's hopefully being played tomorrow.
Do they still want you to do color commentating tomorrow?
They do. They do.
Okay. I was worried that they were
awesome.
postponing this game just because they didn't want you doing it.
So the game is Orchard Lake St. Mary's versus Grand Blanc. #1 in the state versus #2 in the state. And this game is going to be crazy to watch. And like I said, I had the opportunity to call a MHSAA high school football game. It was Detroit Loyola versus New Lothrop, and New Lothrop ended up going on to win the state title, which is cool. And Dan Severin's nephew was the quarterback for Art over there. So I had an opportunity to do that, and then I'm getting an opportunity to call a high school basketball game, which I was very excited for, especially #1 versus #2 team in the state. But the game got canceled. Either way, I'm still going to do that when the opportunity arises. But I wanted to just throw around this topic and have some fun with you guys this morning. Outside of what we're doing here in sports, what would be your dream job?
My dream job would be in-arena host for either the Detroit Pistons or honestly just in-arena host for any of our professional teams.
Just an in-arena host?
Yep.
That's an attainable job for you, man.
Yeah, it is. It's just I have never been able to. I've been actually trying to do it.
Have you
There's
tried
no
out?
luck. No luck. I don't look good enough. They always got pretty women in there. It's like, come on.
No, the Red Wings a couple years ago alternated between a girl and a guy when Tiffany was doing the Joe Louis.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, when she wasn't available, a guy would do it. So I think there's a shot for you to do that, man.
I'm going to make it happen.
You got the plug, right?
Yeah.
You got the plug at LCA. We got to call Nick Bartolone and tell him, hey, this is what I want to do.
Make it happen.
Corey, outside of what we're doing right now in sports, what would be your dream job? And everybody that's watching right now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, let us know what you want to do too. Like, is it whatever you want to do? I want to find out what everybody is thinking that they would love to do in sports, whether it be a coach, whether it be a trainer, whether it be whatever. I just want to find out what you want to do. Corey, what would you do?
So it can still be within the confines of sports, right?
Yeah, anything to do with sports.
I would be a sideline reporter or post-game interviewer.
Okay.
I just feel like, I would be able to have questions that would not insult the athletes, because I've seen a lot of these interviews and a lot of dumb questions get asked, and that's why a lot of the athletes look at some of the interviewers like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
Like, remember, one of the most famous ones is Russell Westbrook. Like, what? Y'all tripping. So, I mean, that's what I would like to do.
What about you, Art? If you could pick one job in sports besides what we're doing here, what would you do?
I would want to get high as shit with Joe Rogan and do commentary with him for the UFC.
On MMA?
Yeah, that's like the dream gig. Yeah, either that or I have this fascination with NASCAR. So maybe just go, oh, they're going left again, and just do that for 4 hours. That'd be cool, too. Easy
And
job.
he's passing him on the inside. No, he's going to the outside.
You got my gig.
There we go.
Dude, Rob Coddington with the job of jobs of dreams.
What's that?
Zamboni driver.
That would be fun.
That'd be
Yo,
sick.
can we talk to someone at the Red? I want to be on a Zamboni at Little Caesars Arena. Who do we have to talk to for that?
They used to do that. They used to let like little kids ride around.
Can it be my
between periods.
Make-A-Wish?
Huh?
Can it be my Make-A-Wish?
I mean, I'm sure we could pull some strings.
We'll
and
hit
make
up
that
Al
happen.
Sabaka, get you
Just
on there.
Fish and I
Is
and
it
a
still Al?
Zamboni.
Isn't it?
Is it still Al? That's
Got to
doing it?
be Al Sabaka.
Okay.
It's a legend right there.
Yeah, Al's the man. Who we got here? Dave Hubbard says baseball, front office, scouting. That would be fun job to be a scout and travel around the country and look at these players, but it would suck if you got them completely wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. The head Zamboni driver again. I'm in college to be an athletic trainer or a coach. That's what Mason is saying. Coach would be fun. It would be a lot of work, but being a coach would be a lot of fun.
What level would you want to be?
I mean, if we're going to do this, let's do it. I want to be an NFL coach.
NFL?
Yeah.
Head coach? Position coach?
Head coach. Like, if I'm doing something, I want to do it.
You know, the greatest thing that I saw over the weekend was, I think someone posted it saying that if you feel useless, just know that Tom Brady has a quarterback coach.
I posted that. Thanks, man.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's that, and if you feel useless, just remember that the Olympics have a lifeguard for the swimmers. like every Olympics, there's a lifeguard sitting there bored as hell while Michael Phelps is setting world records. Like, I got to go save this dude if he starts drowning. Dude's a fish. He's never going to drown.
Easiest money ever.
Yes. Yeah, just collecting the check. But for me, honestly, I think, like what Tony Romo does, being color commentary for football would be probably the best job on the planet. I mean, all you got to do, because you don't have to do the heavy lifting of the play-by-play guy. Like, the play-by-play guy sets everything up. He's got to know the players. He calls the plays. All you got to do is be like, you see number 35? What a great block by him. If he didn't get that, number 28 would have never been able to spring that run. And you just got to pay attention to the game and regurgitate what you see.
It's literally like the no shit job.
It is. And that's why some people get annoyed with, like, a Troy Aikman and stuff, because Troy Aikman will sit up there and be like, yeah, that just wasn't good. It's like, we know, Troy, taking a sack on third down is not good. Thank you for explaining and giving me so much in-depth knowledge. Because I don't think Troy Aikman is a good color commentary person at all.
Nobody can be worse than the Cleveland Cavaliers announcer. I think his name is Austin Carr. He is by far the worst.
I thought you were going to say Fred McLeod. Remember when McLeod left the Pistons to go to Cleveland?
Fred was cool people. But,
yeah.
But his partner, his partner at the time, Austin Carr, he's bad. He's real. He's horrendous. I actually think I have some clips in my phone I sent to Ant, and I was like, this guy might be the worst color commentator of all time. And he replied back like, holy bleep, he's terrible.
Yeah. My dad, he was a truck driver for Reliable Carriers, and he would travel all over the country. He was a coast-to-coast truck driver hauling cars. And he would always tell me, because he'd go to different markets, obviously, and listen to baseball games, and he would always tell me, like, our broadcast staff here on the radio with Dan Dickerson is probably one of his favorites around the entire country. And my dad wasn't a diehard Tigers fan. He grew up in New Mexico, so he really had no loyalty to the Tigers. So he would just drive around, and he'd hear all these other people, and he would say, in Detroit, Dan Dickerson is the best.
I like his voice a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when the Tigers get them walk-off home runs, he is just like so energetic and into it. Like, he makes you feel like I'm in the car and listening to the game. He makes you feel like you're really there and all the emotion. Especially that when Maglio hit that walk-off, that was iconic call.
Well, how about Dan Miller here in Detroit, too? I love Dan Miller.
Yes.
Like, dude, the Lions have sucked for how long? Forever, right? And he gets hyped for every single game. Like, he cares every single game, every single play. Are you shaking your head that you don't agree with me, or are you shaking your head that you can't believe that he still cares this much?
I can't believe that he can just be as amped as he is with how badly the Lions have getting their ass kicked like that. That is like a skill to be that good,
right,
and to make you that entertained by him when the team is so bad.
Right.
So it's kind of like I'm shaking my head like, damn, Dan deserves to gets the call out. He deserves to call a playoff win or something. Like, give this guy something. He deserves it.
Could you imagine his call if the Lions did win the playoff game? Like,
I think he might break down on air.
And imagine if they won it like Minnesota did on that Stephon Diggs like last second play a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Dan Miller would have an aneurysm. His head would explode.
Yeah.
And I got just nothing but respect for that guy, because year in, year out, the Lions will be down by 50 points and will break a run run. He'll be like, at the 20, at the 10, they score! Like, and you're just like, Dan, they're down by 47. What are we doing? But I love listening to Dan on the radio.
See, the Lions have given you something.
Yeah, Dan
An
Miller.
appreciation for Dan Miller.
Yeah, no, the Dan Miller's given me more than the Lions have. Let's see, some other people, they would like to be DC for the Lions, defensive coordinator for the Lions. That would be great. And then people are starting to comment their best commentators. Let's see, Gus Johnson. I like Gus Johnson. Mark Champion, always good. Let's see. Yeah, so if you got something that you want to be in the sports realm, I know Fish. We've talked to Fish a lot. Fish, go over on producer Cam with Art real quick.
I didn't even know that Gus Johnson was from the D.
Yeah.
Get me off.
Mike Chirico's from Ann Arbor, and to me, he's the apex.
I used, when I worked at one of my thousand of jobs, I used to have to service his phone.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Chirico's cool people.
Yeah, I love Chirico. We should try to get him on the show. So, Fish, we've talked a little bit about your lifetime goals and what you want to be. Share with everybody watching right now what you want to do in sports.
Basically, sports broadcaster. That's the main goal, but anything really in sports.
Yeah, but you said you want to travel the world, right?
Yeah, I would like to do a game weekdays, weekends, 24/7, 365 days, no stop.
Yeah, and you said you want to travel intercontinentally, too, like Tuesday in Australia, Wednesday in Japan, that type of stuff.
Yeah, so this week I'd be in Melbourne for the Australian Open, and then we'll hit up March Madness later on in the month.
Well, Fish, hopefully you're well on your way, man. I would love to travel with you and do some games. You could be the play-by-play. I'll be the color.
All right, let's call someone and get that working.
Let's get that worked out. Thank you, Fish. And I would love to see Fish travel in the world covering, like, lacrosse in Mozambique. And then he goes to, New Zealand and covers the All Blacks. And then he goes and covers the Australian Open. Like, Fish is designed for this work.
I just want to see, how the Pistons, you see their pregame outfits and all that. I want to see Fish's outfit as he hops off of his private jet with his Louis Vuitton bag, suited and booted. That's what I want to see, Fish.
Fish, that is an attainable goal. Adam, you want to hop on producer Cam real quick and tell us what you would like to do in sports? Go ahead, hop over there real quick. Uh-oh.
Gonna be something with
He
soccer
gave me that
or
shit-eating
something.
grin. What does that mean? I would just like to bet all day long on my bookie.
No, not at all.
What would you like to do, man?
Not NFL GM.
A GM?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be great. I could see Adam being an NFL
Yeah.
GM. What do we? How do we get involved in this? Like, can we significantly affect?
I was thinking of buying the team in like 15 years. So
okay,
that was my target.
I mean, by then the team's going to be about $40 billion. But hey, we'll figure it out.
I can find oil.
I can find capitalist investors, and we could buy the Lions. But yeah, that would be fun to be the GM and to call the shots for an entire organization. A lot of pressure though in those positions. Baseball GM would be Justin Spiro, and shout out to Justin Spiro. Baseball GM would be fun. But like I said, I got the opportunity to call a high school basketball game. Was supposed to happen tonight, not going to happen tonight, so maybe we'll get at it tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to it. Number 1 in the state, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, versus number 2, Grand Blanc.
So is this for like the live stream or is this for the arena?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be the in-arena host. I'd just be doing the broadcast for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, with my buddy Chad Bush, who also graduated from St. Mary's. But for real, it's fun, man. Like, when I did that first football game, I caught the bug. You know how that is? Like, the first time you were ever on a microphone, you're like, man, that was a lot of fun. I felt that same energy when I called my first football game. And then the cool part is, as I was walking out, George Blaha's there.
That's what's crazy. So you didn't even know he was there the whole game?
I did not know he was there the whole game.
That's amazing.
And it's not like he was listening to the broadcast, but I just thought it was, like a good omen that George Blaha, my hero, my idol, was there at the first game I ever called.
It's a legend right there.
It is. I love George Blaha so much. We got to give a shout out to Grow Green. Go to growgreenmi.com right now, and if you want and you mention Woodward Sports, they're going to hook you up with a free t-shirt. But Grow Green has everything you need to start your grow, continue your grow, or improve your grow. Joey and I went out to Whitmore Lake the other day to check out Grow Green, and my God, that store is enormous. They have everything. I mean, we walked through a whole section where they had filters. We walked through a whole section where they had soil. We walked through all the newts. We walked through all the lights, and It's just everything that you need, one place, great prices, and like today, you don't want to leave, $50 flat rate shipping on no matter what you order anywhere in Michigan. So they're hooking it up with great deals. Go to growgreenmi.com today. And if you want to call them, mention Woodward Sports. Or if you go out to Whitmore Lake, mention Woodward Sports, and they will hook it up.
It's such a cool place being because they got like the Segway little hoverboards in there, and you see the employees just hauling ass around the whole building.
Yeah, what was crazy is like their packaging and fulfillment center too for Amazon. Like they're working round the clock there. So shout out to Grow Green. We appreciate you. There's some NFL players that need to be on the move. I found this article, and a lot of these players are just, it's like, meh, I don't really care about half of them, but there's some very, very interesting ones that I thought we could talk about. Like Philadelphia, one guy that they say needs to be on the move is Zach Ertz. And I do feel like Ertz is done in Philadelphia, especially if Wentz is done. That offense is going to completely change. But he's still got some miles on those legs as a good tight end in the league. Where could you see a Zach Ertz winding up?
Ooh. I'm thinking maybe a Dallas, maybe a somewhere like the Colts.
Okay.
I'm trying to think because a lot of teams actually have some pretty decent tight ends. So I'm trying to figure out where he would fit in right away. I mean, they got some of the teams. I think they're going to be running 2 tight end sets for him to even be serviceable at this point. So I don't know. He's in a weird spot.
I like the idea of the Colts. I think that's a good spot for him. I mean, Jack Doyle is Jack Doyle, and then Mo Alley Cox, he had a couple flashes in the pan this year, but they need some stability at tight end. That could be a good landing spot for him. For the Lions, who do you think the one player on the Lions roster that ESPN predicted that has to move?
I took a peek, and I do agree.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be him. I don't know if Joey looked at it yet.
I didn't.
Jesse James, our backup tight end, who we paid a lot of money to.
How much is he getting paid?
We gave him a 4-year, $22.6 million contract last year.
Wow.
And he averaged fewer than 1 catch a game.
I don't think he was utilized correctly. I mean,
No.
if at all. I mean, if you go look at his numbers with Pittsburgh, I mean, okay, he's not going to get more than Hawkinson, more attempts than Hawkinson. But if you look at his production and with Pittsburgh, you thought the Lions were going to get somebody who was going to be an integral part of the offense, and he wasn't. It was like you almost forgot that he was there.
I think the emergence of T.J. Hawkinson really made him just disposable. Like, I think they signed him knowing that they needed a tight end, and then once it came time and they got Hawkinson, it's like, all right, we don't really need this guy anymore. And also they drafted Hunter Bryant this year, which
And he did well.
I like him. I mean, he fell in the draft from Washington, but he had some off-the-field issues that kind of led to that. It had nothing to do with performance, nothing to do with ability. And if he can get up to speed, I really loved Bob Quinn's draft this past year because I like Quintez Cephas. I like DeAndre Swift. I like the Bryant pick. I like the lineman that we picked. Okuda is
still on.
We don't know.
Be seen.
Yeah, we don't know officially what he's going to be, but I really like that pick. But yeah, Jesse James should be out the door for the Lions. That's one person that they have on here. Let's see. Who else is notable that's on this list? They have a lot of tight ends moving, a lot of running backs. Mitch Trubisky is one person that they say needs to move. A.J. Green for the Bengals. Do you think there's anything left in the A.J. Green tank?
No, I think he's right now. He's old A.J. Green, not A.J. Green of old. I think that any team I think that any team that gets him, they have to understand that he's probably just going to come in to spell some guys or just be used in certain situations. I don't think that he's a every down receiver. I think just looking at the list, I think the only receiver on that list that really has some kind of redeeming value and needs to go ahead and get a change of scenery is Odell Beckham Jr.
Damn it, Corey. That's who I was bringing up next. All right, so let's move on from A.J. Green.
But on to it, like talking about A.J. Green, like you look at how we always talk about NFL receivers, how you can always get a good one in the draft. I mean, you look at A.J. Green who had under 50 catches, 2 touchdowns the entire season.
Right.
And it's just, why would any team have to take a chance on a older guy like that?
I think you put him on like a Green Bay Packers or something like that. He's serviceable. He's going to add to the team because you put him opposite of Devontae Adams. That's a nice pairing, right?
Yeah, you get him with a a quarterback like a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers or I think just really those two, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, maybe to a lesser degree a Russell Wilson. AJ Green still has something left. When you have him with a rookie quarterback or just the entire Cincinnati quarterback situation in general, it's and also too with him, diminishing in his athleticism and who he used to be, it's not going to work out. But to your point, like I said, opposite of Devontae Adams, AJ Green might be able to, last year he had 523 yards. He could probably get closer to like the 800, 900, and that's really all you really need. You don't need him to be the guy he once was before.
And then you brought him up, Odell Beckham Jr. from the Browns. Clearly the Browns want to move on from him.
Yeah.
Do you think that he could ever be what he was in New York?
I believe so. I don't think that he's had the quarterback to get him to be where he needs to be and the organization. I think for him, the idea of being on the Browns was better than actually being there because his boy Juice was there. And sometimes, hanging with your boys may not necessarily be the best thing for business. So I think that once he gets away from Cleveland and gets to an organization where it's a clean start, he's away from distractions, and also, too, just being real, Odell has to commit to the football team and less to building the brand of Odell Beckham Jr. He'll be fine. I mean, he has a ton left in the tank.
Would you want him on the Lions, Joey?
I mean, you look at what he was, yes. It's just the injury thing is what scares me. Because, I mean, you look at the Browns, too. Their receiving core is nasty. It's a great lineup of receivers there.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Jarvis
if
Landry.
we could get him for the right price, why not?
And here's another guy that's on this list that needs to move. And this is a guy we were talking earlier, like who can complement DeAndre Swift. And the Pittsburgh Steelers need to move on from James Conner. That's kind of a guy I could see being a complement to DeAndre Swift.
I would love that. I think that's also, too, the way James Conner was running. He's a tough back. That kind of embodies what the Detroit Lions are looking for. Toughness has been the theme from Dan Campbell trickling on down to Anthony Lynn, Aaron Glenn, and Deuce Staley. The toughness has been that theme. James Conner fits that mold. I would love to see him come here and, they'll be able to do some damage.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great addition to the team. We need that power back.
That's the thing when you look at running backs like that had those breakout seasons, those Pro Bowl seasons, and when he had to fill in for Le'Veon Bell. But then you look at how he progressed throughout the rest of his career, and it's like that one season, how long could you really hold on to that?
Yeah, well, he battled cancer, which he came back from, which you got to respect him for that. But, yeah, I mean, he hasn't had just – he went up and he went down, and now they're looking to move on from him. That's why I don't think you bring him in here to be the lead back. You bring him in here just to complement DeAndre Swift. Another person on the move from Western Michigan University, drafted by the Tennessee Titans, Corey Davis. And he's an interesting piece to me. I think he could fit in a lot of offenses. I think he kind of underperformed in Tennessee just mostly because they predicate around the run more than anything, and then they also have, Brown in case they need to throw the ball. But Corey Davis, he came out very hyped. A lot of potential. And I think if you put him in the right offense, he can be a very serviceable weapon once again to like a Green Bay or to like a New Orleans or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. One thing, I'm looking at this list. One name, I think Deshaun Watson is the obvious choice for the Texans of who needs a change, but there was somebody else on the Texans who I think that needs a change of scenery also, and I believe he's actually a realistic target for the Lions in the offseason at wideout. Will Fuller.
Yeah.
I think Will Fuller needs a change of scenery. Last year, 879 yards, 8 touchdowns. I think, and that's with Deshaun Watson and how that whole offense was not going so well. I don't think Will Fuller's going to have that type of impact this year, and he needs to have a change of scenery as well. He's a free agent. I think you bring him to Detroit, he may be able to do some damage here with Goff.
It's funny because, like midway through the season, they were talking about trading Will Fuller, and then the very next game after the trade didn't go through, dude had like 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's like, you ain't trading me. I'm the best damn wide receiver on this team since you traded away DeAndre Hopkins. But Fuller would be a great option at wide receiver. And let's see. Let's check out. There's like 2 more players on this list. One guy that I really like that has never really done what he was supposed to do is Mike Williams, the wide receiver for the Chargers. When Mike Williams came out of Clemson, he was just a beast. He was supposed to be the next DK Metcalf, essentially. And he's turned into an okay wide receiver. Like, he can high point some balls. He gets a lot of touchdowns, but not a lot of volume on the receptions. And then when Herbert came into play, they really didn't connect at all.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. It's something about the Mike Williams name as being a wide receiver that's been cursed. The Lions were on the. I shouldn't even bring that up.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You already said it.
The Lions were cursed when Matt Millen, for some effing reason, took Mike Williams when he hadn't played football in like a freaking year, and then took him real high, and the dude was fat as hell by the time he came here.
And Chris Carter, the former wide receiver who was great, like before we drafted him, Baligian was telling me that he literally told Lions management, this is the laziest player I've ever tried to work with. And he literally told them that, like, in their interview, trying to do research on Mike Williams. I do think Mike Williams got a raw deal, though, because he only declared for the NFL draft after Maurice Clarett did. And that was back when, it's still the case. You need to be 3 years removed from high school. Clarett did it 2 years removed, and they said, okay, you can go to the NFL. So Mike Williams was like, oh, shit. Well, I ain't playing another year in college. I'm out, too.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, you can't do that. And now since you declared for the draft and got yourself an agent, you're no longer eligible to play in the NCAA. So he had to sit out a year, which definitely hurt him, because if you go back and watch those films of Mike Williams at USC, like that one-handed catch, like out of the back of the end zone, I thought that guy was going to be an absolute monster. And then you go back to his first game with the Lion. He scored a touchdown. It was on a little rollout pass to the right when they were wearing the black unis. And Mike Williams, his first catch was a touchdown.
And then what do we see out of him?
I know. It's kind of the same thing with Charles Rogers. Like he had 2 touchdowns in almost every game he played in.
I was so hyped for Charles Rogers in the beginning.
Charles Rogers. But yeah, obviously he broke his collarbone a couple times, and we never really got to see the full potential of Charles Rogers. And not to go too far down this rabbit hole, but that's what kind of scares me about Devontae Smith. He's kind of got that same body type as Charles Rogers, and we saw what happens to collarbones in the NFL if you got that body type.
You look at Mike Williams, too, because I think it's his 5th year that he's in for his contract. $15 million is how much they would have to pay him. And you look at that, like that's a big amount of money for him.
Yeah. It's it's crazy how much money these guys are demanding now for, like you look at Jesse James, like we discussed. He's not even catching a ball a game. What do you got, Art?
According to sources, possibly Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Bucks.
Where'd you hear that?
Right on
Sources.
the TV next to me.
Oh, right on the TV next to you? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about that? I mean, we just talked about you put him with a Tom Brady and he could turn back into what he was in New York. Damn.
He'd be a beast.
So
they're going to get rid of Godwin.
Yeah, because somebody's got to go, because you can't have Godwin, Mike Evans, AB, and Odell Beckham Jr. First off, I don't even know. I wouldn't even bring OBJ in, because you already have to monitor and control AB, and he's on his best behavior right now. You don't need AB and OBJ on the same team. That is
in Florida.
That is disaster.
That sounds
waiting
fun.
to happen.
That sounds fun.
Oh, that would be a fun ass party. But can you imagine the scrap those two would have over the ball? Somebody's gonna go. Somebody's gonna be the odd man out.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's got to be Godwin. He's a free agent this year. He was only making like $675,000 last year. Only.
That's going way up right now.
Dude, he's an elite wide receiver. He should at least command a couple million a year, and I think he's going to get that from somewhere. So if Godwin leaves and you replace him with OBJ, that's not really too far of a drop-off.
Yeah. So,
That's the thing, though. You look at OBJ, I feel like Tom Brady would bring him back to the star that he was.
And that's the thing. You take all these degenerates and you put them around Tom Brady, and all of a sudden they fall in line because they know, hey, if I listen to this dude, I'm going to get that ring, and then I'm immortal.
And that's exactly the hidden secret that's not really a secret anymore with Tom Brady.
Right. Is that he'll get you that ring?
Yeah.
Come to Detroit, Tom Brady. Get us a ring here. Please. Please, for me. I would love that. We got to give a shout out to Levels Provisioning Center in Ferndale. They are opening up soon, and I want you guys to get very familiar with Levels. They're great. The people that work there are great, and their product is by far the best that I have tried in the Motor City. I go to all the dispensaries on 8 Mile. I hit up all the ones in Ferndale, and some are kind of shady. Some, just don't look clean. You get the product home, and it's not exactly what you wanted, and you paid a lot for it. That doesn't happen at Levels. Like, their product is top notch. It's the best that I've ever tried in this city, and I'm really looking forward to when they open their doors to everybody, so you get to experience the same thing I've experienced. And if you're on Instagram, make sure you shoot them a follow. It's at Enjoy Levels. Great people. It's coming soon. Can't wait to be a part of it. We're going to be at the grand opening. Maybe we'll do some taste tests with all y'all. So it's going to be a fun time at Levels in Ferndale.
They're going to be hooking you up on their social media too, so that's why it pays off to follow them at Enjoy Levels right now.
Right.
Because you don't want to miss out on what they got coming.
Nope. At Enjoy Levels on Instagram is where they're at right now. And make sure you just follow them everywhere because we want to support good people that support us. What's up,
Can
Art?
I go to the taste testing? I want, I've been really good. I've been doing my work. I just would really like to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to come?
I was gonna say we could ask.
Are you more of an indica or a sativa guy, Art?
I'm an indica guy. If I do sativa, I feel like I've drank liquid cocaine. I can't do it.
That doesn't make sense.
Sativa,
cocaine hypes you up.
Sativa's an upper, indica's a lower.
Right. You said if you smoke indica, you feel like you're on cocaine.
No, it's hard to do all of this and talk to you at once. It's a hard gig. Indica I can do. Sativa, it's too hard on my heart. I can't do it.
Really? See, I'm the exact opposite. Like, sativa just doesn't really do anything for me.
See,
I need to be like body.
You're a naturally like calm person to where like with me.
I'm not. It's the weed that makes me this calm. Like,
you don't want to see him without it.
No, but like Joey will tell you, I can hardly carry on conversations sometimes because my mind's going a million miles a minute. Like, I'm sure people watching the show see me when I'm talking, but I'm looking over here, looking over there. When we were standing, how much I was dancing around in circles. Like, this carousel doesn't stop unless, I have a nice indica.
Yeah, I'm an indica guy. I respect to people who could do sativas. I can't do it. I've had sativa edibles, and I just felt like I was on another planet.
Corey, what are you?
Definitely sativa.
You're a sativa guy?
Because I'm already naturally chill, so I need that balance to tip me over to the other side.
Okay, all right. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll smoke anything. Just want to put that out there. But if I'm picky, I'm going heavy sativa or indica for me. And shout out to Levels once again. Thank you guys. Sativa equals active is what Vinny says in the chat, and that's true. Whenever I smoke a sativa, it's like you're only high from here up. It's not your whole body. It's like, oh, okay, this feels good. But either way, Levels Provisioning Center coming soon. Art, let's take a quick break. When we come back, the Tigers have the number 3 overall pick in this year's draft. We kind of want to touch on that. And a couple more things we want to get to. Fish's Facts are coming up in about 12 minutes. And then Joey's Dumbass of the Day. We'll get to all those next on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. This is the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you guys so much for waking up with us this morning. Hopefully your house is safe from all the snow. I mean, that was a lot of snow to wake up to, Joey.
It was crazy, too, because what I did was I shoveled around my car just so I could go and clean off my car. And then I brushed off all the snow, and then I realized, damn, everything that I just shoveled is now full of snow. It was the worst because I was trying to not get my socks soaked.
That's what happened to me last night. Like, literally last night, I went home, I used the snowblower, got the, this many inches off the walkway and my driveway, and I woke up this morning, and it was like this deep. Just an incredible amount of snow, and it's still snowing.
I'm not joking. My dream job right now is to have a snowplow myself. It's like my dream. So if anybody has their own business, I will work for you for free. I'll wake up at 1 in the morning, whatever time you got to wake up, and start going out there. It's like literally my dream. And a snowblower is one of my things that's on my bucket list.
You don't have a snowblower?
No.
Oh,
I
man.
got the shovel.
Dude, I used to shovel for many years of my life, and then I went with the electric snowblower. Saves your back, saves you time. You look cool out there. You can help your neighbors. You know, because when I'm shoveling, dude, it took me like 2 hours to do my driveway. When I'm snowblowing, 15 minutes.
Must be nice to be rich.
Rich, dude, I got the Joe Blow electric snowblower that's like this big. It was like $120.
See, that's the thing. It's like that thing probably takes forever. So I'd rather just be out there with the shovel.
Oh, my God, no, dude. One year, I thought I'd be rich, and I thought I'd pay for the people to come shovel my driveway. And it was the year it snowed like twice. And I just felt like I was just wasting money. So I never did it again. Then, of course, the next year.
I'll go to your house today and shovel for $20.
Really?
Extra 40.
I'll give you 40.
All right, I'll do it.
You'd give $40
to shovel my driveway? Yes.
40? Dude, his driveway is easy. Go ahead, cash out. I'll do it for you if you give me 20.
I have a long driveway, man. It fits like 4 cars on each side.
And it's slanty. It's so slanty.
And then you get that punch to the gut when you're pushing the shovel and it catches the lip and you're just you keep walking right into it.
See, but Southfield, you got to do the sidewalks too.
Yep.
So don't let him sneak that in there. $5 extra for the sidewalk,
dude,
or else he gets fined.
So yesterday I was taking Woody for a walk when I got home, and the neighbor had shoveled all his snow like up into piles on the side of his driveway, and Woody was kind of like walking in the yard, and he tried to like jump over the snow, but he fell in, and because he's had such short legs, he got stuck. He just got stuck like in the snow. It was hilarious.
It's like driving a car with no four-wheel drive. You can't get out.
This midget-ass dog with his feet just trying to get out of this big snow pile.
He's never seen snow like that, probably.
No, but he loves the snow, man. I love that dog so much.
I'm not joking about this dream, though. The biggest, what about the four-wheelers? That's my number one dream.
But there's got to be somebody listening that can take us for a ride. Like, I would love to go snow plowing all day.
Dan Notini can do it.
He's got his own business?
Yeah, he does that in the winter.
Dan?
Yeah, because they do landscaping in the summer and snow plowing in the winter, man. Hit up Dan. He'll take you. I don't know why this is like a childhood dream for you guys.
I want to buy one. I want to buy one and do it for my whole neighborhood.
What I want is one of those 4x4 gators, and you put a mini plow on the front of it.
Like a four-wheeler?
Kind of.
Yeah, that's the biggest dream.
Yeah, then put a plow on the front of it.
Hell yeah, that's a dream call. I would die.
Joey, you have such attainable dreams this morning, like an arena announcer for the Pistons and a four-wheeler. Like, you could accomplish that today if you wanted to.
Four-wheelers are expensive as heck with the plows.
Go look at it. Like,
I've looked.
You could lease it for like $150 a month, maybe.
What?
Yeah, easily.
Oh, don't tell Joey that.
Dude,
seriously,
go to Motor City. You would make that money back?
Go to Motor City Power Sports on Telegraph
I'll go
or whatever.
To them. I know them over there.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you could get yourself a four-wheeler for like maybe $70 a month.
Oh, you just went from 140 to 70. Dude, I'd make my money back one day doing his. Sorry, I just stole your client. My bad, Art.
Let me see. Four-wheeler lease. We can look it up after the show, but look these four-wheelers, you could go on eBay right now and get one for $1,000. Walmart has one for $1,100.
God, that's some little bullshit ass plow.
All right, whatever, man. But
you can last like one winter and you just lost money.
Here you go, 10 G's for one with a plow on it. You want that one?
Oh, that's a good investment.
That's not a good investment. You would make that money back so quick.
Joe and Art services, and we just go around we would kill it.
Artie Joe.
Artie Joe.
Artie Joe Blow.
Artie Joe Blow. Hey.
Artie Joe Blow.
All right. Well, the Detroit Tigers. They have the number 3 pick in the MLB draft this year, and they've had several high picks over the past couple years. Obviously taking Torkelson last year, which I think everybody agreed was the right pick. Big bat, third baseman. I can't wait to see what that kid turns into. But the rumors are right now that they're looking at drafting a right-handed pitcher named Kumar Rocker.
Kumar. We got to get Harold and Kumar out here.
I love his name, man. Kumar Rocker. As long as he's better than John Rocker, I think we'll be okay. Do you guys remember John Rocker? Do you remember John Rocker? Anybody?
Yeah, I remember that name.
His racist Subway rant. Remember that?
Oh, that one.
Oh, that guy was such a good pitcher though, but such an asshole. But the Lions are looking to improve their farm team. They got Riley Green. They got Spencer Torkelson. The Tigers.
Both teams are looking to improve.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
They got Spencer Torkelson. So this year, ESPN is projecting them to take Kumar Rocker with the number 3 overall pick. And they say they probably don't have to tell you, Detroit, it's not just believed to be, it's like they openly talk about it. We love our players on that platform from the SEC, and we've seen for multiple years, and Kumar is to a T. He fits them perfectly. I'm all for beefing up our farm system with more arms. Like when Dave Dombrowski was here, that's what he did. He built the farm system and then mortgaged it for better players. And I don't mind if that's what we're doing right now. This rebuild that we're going through, it was good to get these young players some time last year when the season really didn't even matter. I mean, they only played a couple games.
Hey, I'm just loving the fact that the Tigers are going to go ahead and rebuild that farm system and just potentially adding some significant pieces. This guy sounds like he'll be a good fit, but this is doing a little bit of background check on him. He has an athletic family. His dad played in the NFL, and he's a college football Hall of Famer from Auburn. Right now, he's currently the defensive line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, athletic background.
Man, I didn't know all that. Great research, Corey.
That is what's crazy about all these athletes. Like, you look at their athletic background of their parents and all that. And then you look at yourself and you look at your parents, and I'm like, man, I got none of this. I was not destined for the league whatsoever.
That's one of my favorite things about the Olympics, though, is like you'll see these all-world athletes, the best in the world. You know, they're competing for the Olympics. They're chiseled, they're cut, and then they cut to their parents in the stand, and they're just all like frumpy and big, and it's like, don't argue genetics with me. Like, that guy's trained his ass off. That's why he's great. His parents are both fat.
Like, you look, like, for real, you look like every time like a new player pops up on the screen, it says son of this, daughter, son of this, and talk about the parents. For me, it would be son of a communion teacher for my mom, and then my dad would be a foosball pro. That's pretty much all we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna be son of a truck driver and son of a mail carrier. Like, that's it.
What about you, Corey? What are they bragging about?
Corey's
you for?
like ex-NFL Hall of Famer.
No, mine would be son of a banquet manager and son of a banquet manager and bank manager. I was about to do a tongue tie.
A bank and a banquet. All right, Art. What would you be? The son of a
mechanic, real estate agent, and whatever he could find to make money, and the mom of I don't know. I'm still looking for her.
Do you for real not know your mom? I mean,
she lives in a hotel somewhere, but she was living out of her car. So,
like, you brought this up a couple times. You have no relationship with her at all?
No, she left me when I was 3, and then yeah.
Do you want to find her?
I've tried reaching out to her, and then she reached out one time asking for money, and I told her to fuck off. So,
how much money did she want?
She asked my dad, actually, and then I said, hey, give her my number. I'll give her money, and I told her off and never talked to her again.
Well, Art, we have a surprise for you this morning. If you turn around now... No, sorry, I didn't get your mom here. But that sucks, though, man. I'm sorry to hear about that.
We just took a straight dark turn in this show. Can we move on?
No, because you've done a couple quick hits on it a couple times. Like, oh, yeah, my mom doesn't care about me. Yeah, my mom left me.
It's self-deprecating humor. You know, it's the way that I get by.
The only way you're going to get by. I mean, especially it's been your entire life since you were 3, so you literally don't ever remember her being in your life.
Last night we had a group chat, and we were talking about, like, how your dad's beat your ass. And, like, my dad raised me by myself, basically, but my mom, she used to, like, beat me. So I didn't want to, like, get dark and, like, ruin the conversation like what I'm doing now, you know?
It's okay if your mom beat you worse than my dad beat me. That's okay.
It was bad.
Was it?
Yeah, she threw me down a set of stairs.
At 3?
Yeah, she threw me down a set of stairs when we were living in Detroit, and the neighbors heard me screaming, and then she punched herself in the mouth to get a bloody lip to make it up. It was, it's
to make it look like her 3-year-old son whooped her ass?
Yeah, she said that she fell down the stairs, but it turned out later after investigating she threw me down the stairs.
Man, I wanna go in that booth right now and just give you a hug, man.
No, it's okay. Don't touch me.
I mean, that explains a lot, Art.
Well, we love you here, Art, and I'll never throw you down the stairs on purpose.
This isn't my Make-A-Wish, bro. Let's move on.
So, Art, what can we do to make your life better today?
Pay me to shovel your driveway. That's what we can do.
There you go. That's fine.
I'm broke.
Your sister's selling you out.
Yeah,
look at him give him a big old bear hug over there. From all of us.
Kendra will also tell you the minute my dad reached for his belt, we were running. So, like, she can say that Dad didn't hit us, but there was a reason that we feared for our lives the minute that man reached for his cowboy belt that was about this thick. Like,
you don't just take off your belt for no reason.
No. But the best part is my mom would try to, like, punish us like my dad, and this was in the 80s, and my mom had all these little designer belts that were, like, the size of a shoelace, and, like, getting hit with one of those compared to getting hit with one of these, not even the same. Not even. I would laugh at my mom after taking that hit from my dad.
Oh, she backed off. She said, "I have that belt still."
Yeah, so do I. Awesome. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Fish is going to give us Fish's facts, and we got Joey's dumbass of the day coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech. The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
It is 9:50 on the dot. We are running right on time today, and I love that. It's the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing this on Facebook, watching on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and soon to be our app. It is now time for Fish's Facts. And Fish, we got to play your fun little intro. You ready for it?
Is it time? Yeah, it is. Fish!
Go Fish. Fish facts.
It's fish!
It's Fish! What are your facts, Fish?
So we have a few of them. Serena Williams won yesterday, last night, to Simone Halep. No, I was not watching the game, if any of you
Double
thought
checking.
that. So this will be your 40th Grand Slam semifinal. So they play 4 times a year, except for last year they played 3. So yeah, she's 39 years old.
Okay.
So it's pretty big. She's won 23 Grand Slams. She's looking for a 24th, which would be the record in history.
Wow.
So
All right.
she is
It's
the
impressive.
best. She is playing Naomi Osaka in the semifinal on Thursday. It's the first time they'll meet since 2017 U.S. Open final, where, if you remember, she got a little feisty at the umpire.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it'll happen again.
Okay. And you got bets for today?
I actually have one more fact.
Oh, give me your facts.
So the person we brought up yesterday, Kretsev from Russia, he won this morning.
Okay.
He beat Gregor Dimitrov, so he's going to go to the semifinal.
Love
so
it.
He is currently, or he was making $618,000 as a player. He'll double that, so he'll make $850,000 just for making the semifinal. So
Man.
he's doubled his money in basically 9 days.
Not a bad gig if you can get it.
He was 700th ranked in 2017. He was 253 when it was shut down in March. He is now 42.
Okay.
And he will win $1.5 million just to make it to the final. And then if he wins, he'll get $2.75 million.
Damn.
Lord. All right.
Damn, that's the money adding up quick.
And you got some bets for today,
Yes,
right?
we have some bets for you. We have Champions League today. The champions! Best music ever. Gotta love that.
I do now.
That was great, Fish.
So we have Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona today.
Okay.
That's from 3 o'clock. Both of them are from 3 o'clock. PSG is plus 269. I actually think they have a chance.
Nice. Okay. Are you betting on it?
I'm not betting on it, but I do think they have a chance.
So if I throw $5 on it, I'm okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Paris is a good team.
All right.
They've got
I'll do
a
that when
bunch
we
of,
get off the air.
good
I'll throw
players.
$5 on it.
Then we'll go to hockey. Pittsburgh and Washington tonight. Washington plus 105. I actually think Washington could win. Pittsburgh is good, but they're not the best.
Gotcha. And those are your bets?
Those are the bets.
Thank you, Fish. Those are Fish's Facts and Fish's Bets. We do them every morning at 9:50 right here on the Morning Woodward Show. And then we slide over to my man Joey for his dumbass of the day. Joey, you ready?
Yes, I am ready. But before, I want to help you with your career, because if you're thinking of different options right now, if you're just not happy with what you got going on in your life, listen, it's never too late to switch it, because it's a 10.5-month hands-on HVAC program at the greatest, Northwestern Tech. Check them out, northwesterntech.edu. It's the HVAC school that works. And listen, that industry right now is so just pandemic proof because it's something that we all need, especially right now on a cold day like today.
I was going to say, heating and cooling today, very important.
Very important. But now this dumbass is freaking great. And honestly, this could probably be the first time I've ever seen something like this happen. And I feel so bad calling Tyler Herro a dumbass, but he really is, because you see in this video, he shoots a quick practice free throw as the bench was making a change to rotations, and the ref actually counted this as a miss.
Really?
Yeah, watch this. And it's like, he shot it real quick.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know.
That's weird.
So the Miami Heat did end up losing. It would be funny if they lost by like 1 point and that was the decision. But they ended up losing to the Clippers by 7. But, I mean, you can't shoot no practice free throw in the middle of the game.
It's tough to bash on Tyler Herro, though, man.
Oh, man. Dude's freaking amazing.
Jack Harlow, man. Put him on the map.
Literally.
Why are you shaking your head, Corey?
That's just funny.
What, the Jack Harlow song about Tyler Herro?
Yeah, it's just everything is funny.
Everything is funny.
But have you guys ever seen that happen? I've never seen someone like shoot a like quick practice shot. Like, you could tell he wasn't even set for this free throw. I'm surprised that the ref.
But that was still stupid.
Right.
Well, usually the ref would like set the ball and then like make sure everything's good. Then give him a nice little chest pass. But no, he just tossed it to him and he shot it up. So that is your dumbass of the day,
Tyler Herro.
All right, let's make it official.
Dumbass. You dumbass.
Dumbass. I love that, man. Red Foreman, you are my favorite. Thank you guys for waking up with the Morning Woodward show this morning. We'll be back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Baligian and Bell is up next. They got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. People are asking about our afternoon show in the chat. We got a big announcement coming soon on that. We're inching closer and closer to being able to announce that, but, we got to tease it. We got to tease it a little.
Yo, so today is actually Punchki Day. Fat Tuesday.
It is Fat Tuesday.
Quick little shout out to our originator for our Coney reviews, American Coney Island. They do the best. Punchki Conies.
I saw that.
Would you do it?
I've tried it. It's awful.
Oh, you think it's awful?
I think it's awful.
I'm indifferent on it. It's one of those that I'm like, it's the best of both worlds. I'm not crazy over Punchkis to begin with, but it's a cool idea. So go check that out if you want to try it.
Dude, at St. Mary's, since it's a Polish Catholic high school, Punchki Day used to be lit, man. Like, we would show up to thousands of Punchkis. Like, then that's just what they would have there. And every class you went to, like, every kid gained 5 pounds on Punchki Day.
You got to.
You got to.
Throw a Coney dog in there, you gaining 6.
God, with a Coney. Enjoy your Fat Tuesday. We'll be on tomorrow. Please be safe if you're out driving today. Roads are looking a little bit better, but not great.
We're in Birmingham. You can't count these as real roads.
But if Birmingham looks like this, the Metro Detroit's looking pretty rough.
Oh, yeah, trust me. My commute here was not pleasant.
Yeah. Have a great day, and we love you guys. Thank you for all your support, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.